This old bathroom ceiling fan used to run extremely noisily. It also wasn't very efficient. It wasn't moving much air anymore. In this video I'll show you what I did with it. This is how it looks like after cleaning and lubrication. 3 reasons for maintenance instead of complete replacement, even though a new fan costs $20, maybe $30, something like that. Reason number 1 is ductwork. The new ductwork has an exhaust port that matches up to a 4-inch ductwork. This one matches to a 3-inch ductwork. So you might be ready for replacing the entire ductwork from this fan to the exterior of the building with all the drywalling and insulating and everything else that it involves. Or you might want to install a transition, a 3-inch to 4-inch transition, which is also an option and involves some sheet metal work and duct work. I wasn't ready for either one of those, so I just did maintenance. Third reason is electrical. The geometric arrangement for a new fan box is such that the exhaust port and the electrical wiring point on it are mirror opposites of each other. So if you make the new one work with the exhaust port of the old one, with or without complete replacement, or with or without a 3-inch to 4-inch transition, then the electrical connection is going to be at the wrong spot. Is going to be about, I don't know, 6 inches, something like 15 centimeters too short. So you're going to have to do something with the wiring. That's the third reason why I really wasn't replacing, or I'm not ready to replace this one. Instead I maintain it. So what did I do with it? Very straightforward. It needs minimal tools. It needs a felt pen or a marker. I grabbed the pliers, just the first one that came my way, and I have here a screw gun. This is not an impact wrench. This is a screw gun with a clutch. You can set the clutch strength on it so that it's there. I'm holding it with my just 2 fingers, okay, maybe 3. Okay, that's the softest clutch setting or weakest clutch setting. Not an impact wrench. Very, very important that nothing needs over tightening here. If you just do it with a screwdriver, fantastic. First thing to do, of course, take it all apart and wash everything. But before you do take apart everything, I marked the rotation on it with a blue arrow there. Take a look over my shoulder, somewhere around there. There is the electrical outlet there in the wall, and there is this plastic thingy above it. So when I plug the fan in, you can see that that hairnet is, or this plastic bag is flying in the air or so there. So that's the direction it should be pushing air. Also, this is the direction the fan blade is rotating, yes? So that's important, because if you put the motor in, this motor part, backwards like so, upside down, it's gonna be, instead of pushing air that way, it's gonna be pushing air the opposite way. No big deal. It just involves taking out 3 screws. So really, really easy. Now let me just make a nice frame here. So I'll show you what I did. First one, I removed the fan blade. Maybe that clutch setting is a little too soft. There. It has this set screw on the shaft. That one. Very straightforward. And loosen it just like so. This needed quite some washing in the sink and whatnot. It was also cleaned with lacquer thinner because some sediment was caked on it so hard. Okay, so this fan blade is 2-directional. It could be installed this way either, or as well, but this rounded one is supposed to be the leading edge. Okay, so that's how this was. Next thing to take apart is, I guess I can show you these 2 screws or bolts here. You can grab a pair of pliers and loosen them. You could also grab the appropriate wrench for it, whatever, but I'm just telling you, these are nuts that are really easy to take off, and it doesn't need an automotive wrench or with massive amount of tightening and torque. Alright, so this is how these come off, and you're gonna find these washers underneath. Now, before I take these off, I want to point out something. What is noisy in this is the next piece that's gonna come off is this plate. But let me just tighten it again. That's also, this is how it's gonna go together. Very straightforward. And this was all fuzzy with lint and dander and animal hair and whatever these fans suck in from a bathroom besides moist air. So if I tighten it, oh, just give me a sec, thereabouts, it's tight enough. So this is the noisy component in it, and I want to eliminate it. This is a tray that is there, that has a gap right there between this metal piece here on the housing or on the frame. There, that tiny little gap, you can just see it behind me there, because there is a washer just like the washer underneath this nut. There's another one there, so this plate here resonates. Okay, let me plug it in again and have a look at it there, and especially more so listen. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but as I'm holding it in my hand, this plate resonates. Not now, resonates now. Doesn't do it now because my hand is dampening vibration. It's resonating now. So I'm going to eliminate this metal plate. That's just basically is just a dust cover or something like that. It doesn't have a whole lot of function. You can see it's corroded and I don't like it. So remove these two nuts, remove the washer, remove the other nut and the other washer. Now on the other side there is going to be two more washers. So this is just the frame, like so. I really didn't want to refinish and paint this thing or clean it any better, so there are two more washers here. There. Okay, so you have a total of 4 of these mini washers, just like so. Okay, so this is the thing that vibrates and resonates and makes sounds. So I'm gonna get rid of it. What you have here is a motor and a shaft. When this shaft is there, you can see on this shaft there is this spinning part in the middle. There, that would be the rotor part, and this would be the stator part. Well, this is a transformer and a motor. It's a two-in-one thingy. One more thing you might want to mark on it, otherwise your motor is going to be rotating backwards, is that I'm just going to write F on it, that the fan blade, this was up, the fan blade was on this side, so it's moving air in this direction. If this motor is the other way around like so, then it's going to be moving air the opposite direction. Not a big deal, just take it apart again. Next thing to do is take out this long screw, just like so, and one more screw to take out. There, this is why I have a screw gun, that's a long screw. And at this point you're gonna have these 3 parts in your hand. There. Okay, this is the bracket that holds the end of the shaft on this rotor. So this rotor was cleaned. You can clean it in clean water, whatever. I cleaned it with a brush, and then I cleaned it with paper towel, and I dried it, and that's how it looks like. This is a part where the bracket that's holding the bottom of the shaft, and this is with the through hole holding the top end of the shaft. it needs a little bit of lubrication there and there. 1 drop of sewing machine oil. Alright, if don't put in engine oil, please, into your bathroom fan. If anything, put in extra virgin olive oil. Alright, if you don't have sewing machine oil. So this is how it's going to spin. Spread the oil like so, the lubricant, okay, like so, and do the same with the top part as well. So you can just clean these pieces and they should be spinning freely, just like so, okay, with very, very low resistance. So that's how these function. This copper color spring plate here that you see in the middle is holding in an insert there, and this insert can move quite a bit there, okay. Don't rip it out. It's possible to snap it back in, but it's a misery. So when you pull the axle out, just rotate it carefully so you're not ripping out this insert, okay, from this bearing. Very simple bearing set. There is a felt, this one is felt lubricated, meaning that there is behind this copper spring plate here, there is felt packed in there that's supposed to be lubricated. At this point I'm not going to lubricate the whole felt pack with lubricant for the next 30 years. I just put 1 drop in there and another one in, another drop in the other one, and then you'll end up with this piece. You can also go ahead and wash it in water, but don't wash off your F mark on it, and don't break the wires, especially the very thin wires, okay. Whatever you do, don't break the wires. Just wash it gently and then just shake it out and dry it, whatever, carefully. Once you're done drying everything, just put it all back together. This goes in the middle, and you can start doing it like so. And there, seat it in properly. There. The reason why this insert moves is that the 2 inserts can line up, and they can line up the rotor so that the rotor spins inside this iron core without touching anything. So it shouldn't be making contact with the side walls of this iron core. There, just test it, make sure it's actually spinning smoothly, and then put the bolts back in. Super straightforward. Maybe there. Alright, so it doesn't require a great amount of skill set, but you do need to be observant so you don't break the wires, you don't cross thread the bolts. And at this point I will set the torque to something like 2 on this screw gun. So there, it's tightened. That's it. Is it spinning? Well, it could be a... There. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Alright. So this is the component I'm gonna forget about and leave out. And I'm just going to mount this thing on this frame as is, with just 2 of these. No, I don't know what to do with the remainder washers, so you know what, I'm gonna add all 4 back on, just like so. So I'm gonna plug it in to make sure that it's moving air in the correct direction. Let's see, do we have the F facing the fan blade? Yes, we do. That's good. That's good. So tighten this one. and tighten that one just like so. That's about enough tightening, and maybe put this fan blade on. About this much of the shaft was sticking out, so there, that's good enough. Get this wire through, and let's plug it into the same location somewhere there and see what happens. There. Is it still moving air? I say it's splendid. Alright, can't be any better. Nice. And it's not making rattly noise because this resonating plate was put back. Now, installation. Let me get you off the tripod. And installation is super straightforward here. So let's climb. You can see these 3 screws that are only partially removed. Those screws line up with those slots there. Split one of them like so. I have only one in place. This might take a while. So I see. There. Nice. Alright. So the fan is in place, but the pigtail doesn't reach the connector because this motor needs to be mounted on the other way around in the housing. Not a problem, but that's how it installs, and we know it works. I plugged it in. So I'm gonna take it out again and flip the motor to face the other direction. Fairly straightforward.